Okay, so question 3 is all about chemical analysis as well. A student tested copper sulfate solution and calcium iodide solution using flame tests. So if we're using the flame test, and then they also said that they added sodium hydroxide solution to copper sulfate solution and calcium iodide solution. Give the results of the tests. So for the copper sulfate, it would have turned to a blue precipitate. So remember in our colours for testing for cations. And then for calcium, so the nice way to remember this really is to just look at the periodic table. And if we look at the periodic table, the ions that we need to know, so we need to know copper, we need to know iron. These two are transition metals, so they end up being coloured. But the other three, which are magnesium, calcium, and aluminium, are not transition metals. It's group 3 and group 2 metals. And they tend to not be coloured, they tend to be white. Okay, so calcium, magnesium, aluminium from the periodic table would be white. We've got calcium here, so this would be white. All we have to do then after that is just to remember the actual individual colours of the precipitates for copper and the 2 ions. To test for sulfate, they added dilute hydrochloric acid and then they added something else. So this would be the barium chloride that you need to add. So barium chloride solution. And then that will turn into a white precipitate. And to test for the iodide, this is a halide test. It was all about adding silver nitrate with the dilute nitric acid. You obviously can't use hydrochloric acid because it contains Cl-. And then what we need to remember is that it gives chloride, bromide, and iodide. These are the 3 halides that we test for. And they go from white to cream to yellow. They get darker as you go down. We've got iodide, so this would be a yellow precipitate.